Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome to my Total War Warhammer 2 Mazdamundi Lizardmen Hexoatl campaign. The objective of today's video is to forge a Lizardman empire, and the challenge is to control all of Lustria. We're going to be playing as Mazdamundi, the Lord of the Soulless City, the oldest and most powerful living Slann Mage-Priest, and the current ruler of Hexoatl, the guardian and the defender of the old ones and the great plan. Okay guys, welcome to the campaign map. Let's get stuck in right into it. Here he is, Mazdamundi, the man, the myth, the legend. So first up, we've got some skeggy Norskins in and around us that we have to deal with. Skink and Saurus spam early on is going to work quite well before we get our lizard wizards, our fire and lightning lizards. We've got some temple guards, Saurus warriors, and a Stegadon there as well. I want to try and get the solar variant as well eventually. But with Mazdamundi, we start off with Hexoatl, and we have a Saurus warrior there, so we'll bring him into the fold. We've also got the New World colonies operating out of Port Riva. Once we deal with the Norskins, we'll try and finish them off. So let's do a quick save and a hard save and fight this one first up against the Norskins. So if you haven't already, guys, gone and watched my Ikit Claw Skaven Let's Play, highly recommend you do. We're playing as another New World faction. So we'll try and move Mazdamundi up, along with our Saurus warrior and our Stegadon. And we've got to be careful against the Norskins, because early on they can be a little bit of an a problem, a decent opponent, if you do get ganged up by them and the New World colonies firstly. But they seem to just be holding the line. They have their own cavalry and reavers and stuff. My Kroq-Gar warriors should be able to make quick work of some of them. They're going to trade back and forth. If we can get them stuck into their cavalry, they should be right. But the Kroq-Gars are doing quite well. The Stegadon's here now as well. And if we get Mazdamundi to hold up, we've got some skink skirmishers focusing on their cavalry. As long as we don't run after them and sort of tire ourselves out, we'll be fine. But Mazdamundi's going to get stuck into it. Saurus warriors hitting them on the side. But I think it's the plan. Forge a great Lizardman Southern Kingdom in Lustria. Okay, so we've managed to destroy their front line. All that remains is their general. But a strong frontal charge by the Saurus warriors and the Kroq-Gars are going to work out well. But I definitely early on, for the first couple of episodes, want to do a skink and Saurus spam, because they're just so cost effective and they're actually quite great at what we're coming up against early on. We will later invest in better quality Saurus warriors. I don't mind Kroq-Gars, but I definitely like solar Stegadons. So this is where we're going to have a problem. If we get kited by their cavalry, it can cause a problem. But the Kroq-Gars early on are going to do quite well against the infantry units. It's when they get stuck into skirmishes that can be a problem. We don't want to overweight our army with them. Alright, decisive victory. Only lost 9 lizard boys, and we managed to have a first decent victory against the skeggy Norskins. It's kind of weird that there's Norskins so far down here near Port Riva, but so be it. And we'll allow them to live so we can farm some of the XP. Okay, so we've pushed up over here 2 turns now, going into turn 3 into skeggy. And we should be able to take it. So we have had to trespass through the New World colony, so the Empire's not going to like me too much. But we want to focus on getting rid of them as quickly as possible. They've now sailed out against me and the garrison, so we'll fight this one. A lot more cavalry there. We might have to... yeah. So we're going to have to retreat, because I don't know if we'll be able to win that. This army's still quite weak. Now that we've withdrawn, we can fight this one on the field. Again. I do have a secondary army coming up as reinforcements, but yeah, you just got to be careful against the skeggy. they can be a little bit difficult. You can see why if you get ganged up against them. Okay, so now they're crossing the distance to push up. They've got cavalry supremacy on me. If they wrap around our sides, we're going to have a problem. So, try and get the skinks to get them. And then we'll move up here. This is going to be a close one, because they've got so much skirmish cav. Which they've done quite well, yeah, because look at this, our Kroq-Gars aren't going to run that down, so they're going to have to pull back. Maybe if we sort of not attack them and bait them closer. It's going to be a tough one. It's not in our favour. It's just large entity units just get absolutely rip-roared by skirmishes in this. But yeah, like I said, you can see why if you overextend and like declare war upon the new world colonies and then like Skeggy comes in, can be an issue. So we're going to be focusing all our resources on the Norskins and hopefully a victory. But yeah, the Kroq-Gars there getting hit behind by Jav Cav, not what we want. Mazdamundi's here in the thick of it as well with the feral Bastilodon. We want to try and keep that alive as long as possible. But the jungle beckons under the great Slann mage. We'll try and replenish and repair where we can. The problem is we don't want to chase them down. Okay. We're managing to draw out and phase out 2 cav units there, which is good. These guys are getting a little bit compromised, so pull them further back. If we can clump up a bit, we'll be fine. That's why the skink skirmishes are so valuable early on. These marauding horsemen, man. My Kroq-Gars have been very, very beaten up in this. We need to try and snipe their general when we can. Bring the skink cohort back towards my generals there. Yeah, but the Norskins are probably going to have more of a difficult army build and composition to face against early on for us, compared to the Empire. That's essentially what the New World Colonies unit roster is going to be. A lot of crossbows, a lot of cavalry and artillery, which we're going to have to watch out for. We're going to be mindful of, but we should be alright. We've got a lot of hard factions around us as well. The Vampire Coast. Even like Harkon and the Blessed Dread to the south as well. That we have to watch out for. But they just seem to be skirmishing back and forth. There's not really too much we can do about it. Mazdamundi, my agents and my Bastilodon are holding, but they're taking damage. The Bastilodon's gone feral. We are going to have victory, but it's going to be a close one. The Kroq-Gars have gone feral as well. I just don't have anything to run them down now that we're out of missiles. We're going to have to sort of blob them where we can. This is going to be a really, really close one. We're going to have to skip ahead and replenish and repair before that secondary reinforcement army comes up from the Solar City. They're playing me perfectly here. Skirmishing, annoying, hitting me odd angles and skirmishing me out. Victory though. We have victory here today, but it was a close one. The Kroq-Gars have now routed. So we lost 3, they lost 300, we lost a couple hundred as well. Close. Okay, we've been attacked again here. I'm going to auto-resolve this one. Oh, the Kroq-Gars are gone now, brilliant. That's auto-resolve for you. Okay, we're going to siege out Skeggy. We've skipped a little bit ahead. 5 Saurus warriors, 9 skinks, and we'll take Skeggy. And we've lost the feral Bastilodon. Man, these auto-resolves are so harsh. But, hey, I'd rather not play it. I want to auto-resolve liberally when I can. But maybe economically, in auto-resolves, the skinks are going to serve me better, especially for how much they cost. Blood sacrifice. Now these are the High Elves, Illyrian sacrifice them. The Great Plan demands it, or... No, I don't want to get attacked with the High Elves, so I'm nearly tempted to leave them be. Yeah. We want to focus on Lustria. We don't particularly want to focus on external enemies just yet. Oh, here we go, the Rite of Awakening. So we've got a fire, a light, a high, and a life. We're going to go with fire. I quite like getting lizard wizards when I can. Lightning variants, but we've got Eddie Lizard here with a secondary army. But I'm going to get a Slann Fire Priest, because I quite like fire. I do quite like lightning, and lightning strike when I can get that. But fire, flaming head, there's a lot of good fire spells. Okay, we're slowly but surely convalescing, and we'll call our Slann Priest Mr. Cane Toad. Right, so we're at war with the old world, the new world colonies now. We've got a full stack with Mazdamundi. There was an army outside Port Reaver, so we probably should deal with getting rid of that first. 11 turns into episode 1, and we got Eddie Lizard there. We might just fight this one straight up. Yeah. Skink spam, let's go. I said I wanted to go for it, but I'm surprised our more expensive units got smacked in auto resolve so quickly. So we should be able to do a right against their infantry. Our Saurus warriors, stats-wise, should be able to go toe-to-toe. It's their crossbows that are going to be the problem. But if we can make a strong long front line with our Saurus and skink cohorts, and then allow our skink skirmishers in the back to do most of the work and heavy lifting, we'll be laughing. But here are the swarms of the dinosaurs. Clever girl pushing up. Eddie Lizard's now on a Saurus mount, so that's good. And then we've got the anchor, the MVP. Mazdamundi in the back line. So we're going to focus on getting rid of the New World colonies before they get too strong. Gonna have to deal with Marcus Wolfheart and whatnot. Okay. So I'm tempted to close the distance on their front line so they can't sit back and skirmish us with impunity. I'm going to angle my skinks on the left and right flank just to get a peculiar angle. Instead of like flat on facing, we want to try and hit them from the sides if we can. Because those crossbows are going to have the, first of all, the range on our jabs. And I would assume most definitely damage and armor piercing rounds and velocity they're going to have on us. So we've got to focus on them. We'll try and cast hold down and net their general. Okay, it's a great firebolt there. It's already nearly routed that skink cohort looking to charge up. And already they're taking a good 20-30% off my infantry before they even get there, so the more we can wrap around, the better. They're already routed by the time they get there. That's a shame. Ah, they're fully capitulated. To be fair, it might work as a bit of a bait if we can pin their general down and focus on him. Yeah, there we go. He's pinned down. Focus all your javelins on him while Mazdamundi runs in. Yeah, early on, skirmish factions are going to have our number because they're just so powerful. I see why this can be a hard start if you get RNG'd off the start and get like war decked in and around, especially when you have to trespass through them. But so far, we were able to isolate the Skeggy Norskins and the New World colonies, and their garrisons are quite beefy as well compared to my own. So if we can secure this northern jungle, we'll be laughing. Okay, swing around here. But also with a brand new campaign, I'm still getting used to how it plays. It's been a while since I played as the Lizardmen. But I do quite like solo Bastillodons. Skink spam actually works, especially early on in the campaign. But I've got my own sort of set short victory conditions. We are playing on Mortal Empires, of course. I want to forge and make Lustria great again. So let me know in the comments where you'd like me to expand and conquer. I don't particularly want to go after the High Elves in North one. I don't want to push too far north as well. Because really, we're going to be in contention with a Lithanar. Securing the jungle is probably the play. And if we push south, we're going to be dealing with Vampire Coast factions, Harkon and, say, Lustra and a fair few others. We might even have to go to war with some of our Lizardmen brethren, as it were. Kroq-Gar and... probably not Kroak, but Kroq-Gar and stuff's down there. But so far, my Saurus are doing well against their infantry. Skinks, not so much. The Javelins are getting some nice shots off, but we haven't been able to flank up and around quite properly. We're just sort of trading at the moment, but it seems to be a stalemate here in the battle for Port Riva. I do have more melee agents, so maybe try and get them stuck a little bit in. That Huntsman's got like fire spells, which are absolutely wrecking me. Okay, make sure everyone's locked on a unit and they're aggressively pushing and attacking. Okay, there's a couple units sitting idly by. Yeah. Like I said, the Saurus spears are holding, but the Skinks, not so much. I think we'll be able to pull a result here today, just because we've got skirmisher numerical supremacy on them. They only had like 6 crossbows. We're sitting at about 10-12 skink skirmishers. But it's turning into a bit of a stalemate on the front line. But we will have victory here today. Okay. Eddie Lizard running down some of the remaining archers there. But they are nearly in a full retreat. Only a couple holding. If they had a couple more agents or lords, it might have changed the tide, but man, oh man, that was an absolute slugfest. I'm also just healing up here because it's always worth doing that. Mazdamundi has a lot of healing spells for agents and stuff. It just speeds and saves up the campaign map auto resolve. So I do recommend healing your units. So close victory, lost about 1,000 to their 2k. But now we've taken the important city of Port Riva, so now we can actually trade throughout the world. And probably against and with Lizardmen factions that we can't quite reach just yet. And if we continue with good relations with the High Elves, we can get more economical surplus from there. So we'll allow Mazdamundi to give chase, and then we'll push up to Ziggurat of Dawn. Ancient skills. I don't mind using the wisdom of the old ones. What's the cost and benefit? Construction time, cost. I'm going to use it. Okay, so the last remnants of the New World colonies with Otto keep on running away. We'll take Swamp Town. And we'll replenish and repair where we can. Okay, so we've managed to get rid of the New World colonies. We'll deal with these vampiric scum here that have rebelled. Yeah, vampire. Yeah, these it's a random rebel, so we'll get rid of them. Isn't there like green skins that hang around here? Yeah, I guess they rebelled from that. It's kind of weird seeing vampires so far north. Oh. Right, I thought that was the settlement. Yeah, it was a green skin settlement, but a vampire rebellion outside. Alright. So, I've got about 2 full stacks ready to push against Silostra Diafin. to uproot the vampires as quickly as possible. They can get a little bit out of hand with their vampiric corruption, so we want to try and uproot them as quickly as possible. Silustra is actually out here in an aggressive stance, or she's in an encamped stance rather. So we'll be able to push towards the Monument of the Moon, and then in the southern jungles we've got Wolfheart and stuff and whatnot. In the last episode we managed to get rid of the Skeggy Norsemen and the New World colonies, but the vampires are next on the hit list. Okay, so she actually fled back. We should be able to siege it out now. Yeah, we couldn't catch it there, which is a shame, even if we lightning strike it. But Mazdamundi and Mr. Cane-Toad are going to push over and try and help. Mr. Cane-Toad's my fire mage that I got gifted. Does that change things up? Okay, so it's a little bit towards their favour. What have they got mostly? A couple of bloated corpses, gunners, archers are the main thing. But we're still rolling with our Saurus and Skink spam for now. Let's do a quick save and a hard save and fight this one against Diafin. Mazdamundi's level 11. Diafin's Silustra is only level 6. Okay, so we'll try and target her and her wizards further at the back, and those bloated corpses can become a problem. But unfortunately in that first episode, in those order resolves, we did lose our Bastilodon and Kroq-Gars. Yeah, just some of those larger entity units really don't work well on the higher difficulties on auto resolve. But maybe if there's like I don't know, if you economically value it, and depending on your particular playstyle, what, one Bastilodon's what worth? 2, 3, 4 maybe, depending skinks. So auto resolve wise, yeah, it's good, but depending on how you play as well. Right, so you need to be healed. You're trying to kite those missiles away. We're not doing the best. So we've knocked out the Skeggy Norsemen, who had a pretty good army build against us, and the New World colonies. If the Vampire Coast had slightly more artillery, it would be a bit more of a problem, but we do have to watch out for their handgunners. But if we can wrap around their front line, we'll be fine. They do have a couple of Temple Guard here, which will give our Saurus Spears a bit of a run for our money. The main sort of thing I want to do is make the jungle, make the old ones proud and sort of honour the great plan, and make Lustria great again, and sort of expel the Umans and the vampires and whatnot. Ulthuan I don't particularly want to invade, as I see them as sort of my natural ally. I think lore-wise as well. Some of the High Elves smile and look fondly against the Lizardmen. To the north, there are a lot of Druki to the north of us. However, I reckon Alithanar is going to carve them up, because he's still a very, very powerful faction. Yeah, it's just how it is. Most of the new Warhammer 2, New World factions dominate, while the olds, not so much unless they've had a new DLC. We can speed things up here a little bit now, as we're getting stuck in. So Mazdamundi and Mr. Cane-Toad are getting stuck into it. And we're skirmishing now up and over the top. Okay. Our Saurus warriors are holding for now. We're only in episode 2, so our skink cohorts skirmishers aren't the best, but once they get some chevrons up nice and high, we'll be laughing. Mazdamundi is having a crack at Silustra herself. If we can focus all those casts on him, he's at half health now, so he might have bitten off a little bit more than what he can chew. We might need to bring good old Eddie, I can't even say it properly, Eddie, I nearly said the wrong thing. The meme is Eddie Lizard. I nearly just said full on, send in Eddie Izzard. Right. I do eventually want to get some lightning wizards, but for now we've got a Slann. That's going to get a firebolt off. Perfect against those handgunners. That's exactly what I wanted. Yeah, I wish we had a better pool to start off with when that mage comes in. Watch out for those bats though. But fire, I still think is pretty basic, and it's perfect what I want to do. Flaming head is still a tremendously strong spell in the current meta. We just need to focus on those agents that are going to cause us the major issue, but we've managed to bring back the balance of power in our favour. Okay, sweet. Let's try and rotate those guys up and in. So, well, we've managed to wound Silostra. Eddie Izzard's getting a little bit close to death there, so he needs to come out. We all have to heal these guys as well during just before they capitulate. Oh, they're going to actually end quite quickly. Yeah, that's my bad. Oh, I was like, I'm going to be able to heal these guys. Nope. Because I forget that the drowned vampires go kaput. But looking at the casualty, sustained and inflicted, 200, 30 for Mr. Cane Toad. Yeah, we outnumber them quite significantly, but yeah, their quality definitely took a lot more. Saurus Warriors carried. Skinks got a decent amount of kills when the opportunity was there, but I'm quite surprised how the Temple Guard didn't do that well. Eddie Lizard getting stuck into it did alright, tanking, along with Mazdamundi, the Lord of the Solar City as well. So we want to try and get rid of Diaphin as quickly as possible, because that vampiric corruption can be a pain. That's why I was happy to uproot those other vampires in the last episode, because that osmosis really hinders expansion. So you're always better to rush them. It prioritise even more so over other factions. Alright, sweet. The Monument of the Moon is now mine. And that's it. She's all over Red Rover. Silostra and the Vampires of the Drowned are no more. And now we border with Marcus Wolfheart. I'm sure he's going to want revenge for the old New World colonies. Okay, we've got another Slann priest at our disposal. And we'll rename this one Glory to Hypnotoad. We're going to run out of words here, maybe. Yeah, we're gonna we might just have to say. Can we make it? Is that enough? Okay, it just has to be one long word. Okay, so we've got the Cult of Sotek near us. We do have a defensive pack with them. They could get wiped out. We're in a confident enough position. So we've got a defensive pack. We can get a military and maybe a confederation. But we don't want to probably lose him. So let's make sure. We probably could bring him back anyway. But we'll try and get this confederation done. The more money I can squeeze out of it, the better. Yep. Mazdamundi has brought in the Cult of Sotek into the fold. And we're going to have to go through his unit build. We've got a Skink Chief there we could use. Yeah, a lot of these we're just going to have to get rid of. And he's only level 4, which isn't good. Oh, sorry, it's good. When they get too high level, they can get respect weirdly. But now, we should be able to surround Marcus Wolfheart. So they've got the Northern Great Jungle. Yeah. He's only got 2 territories. He actually lost... Well, isn't he further south? What about... Oh, we can talk to Kroq-Gar. Yeah, why is he so far up there? Oh. Usually, yeah, the Cult of Sotek is further south than Kroq-Gar, I would think. Maybe Clan Pestilence is dealing with him too much. Oh well. Okay. So a lot of these units we just can't simply use, but we'll try and double back to protect the city, because you never know, we're trespassing on Marcus Wolfheart territory, and we're probably going to have to deal with him next. So we'll bring in the agent there. What are we looking up with Tenon Tuin? Yeah, it's still pretty early days, so good. We can still very much use him. Alright, Mazdamundi, we're probably going to try and push down to the Floating Pyramid and then the Temple of Kara. But Wolfheart is probably going to give us a decent challenge if he crossbow spams us and artillery. In the Northern Jungle, I got some vampires and some random factions around. Okay, so who is he at war with? A couple of others. Got some Skaven, the Blessed Dread as well. So we'll try and join your war against Marcus Wolfheart, because we're strength ranking run now. Let's go against them. Okay. So Marcus Wolfheart's there with a full stack. We'll push to the High Sentinel with Mazdamundi. We should be able to take that with a clear-cut auto-resolve. And then the floating pyramid is hopefully next. We might even be able to auto-resolve it with our skinky spam. Our little lizard cheese. And the floating pyramid is mine. Now what I hope is that they don't get drawn in the south. Hopefully they come north and try and contest me. That would be ideal. We'll break down and replenish where we can. And we'll continue our initiative against Marcus Wolfheart in Temple Kara. It's going to be a good fight. Okay, and we got Hypnotoad and Eddie Lizard getting more skinks. We get a lot more actually. Crikey. Okay, so Marcus Wolfheart is pushed further south from Temple Kara. He's actually giving chase, so we might have to defend here in the northern Great Jungle. Mazdamundi and the boys are heading south. Lithargy's doing quite well. What's sort of happening as well? Oh, Nakai. We found him. Good. If we can get more trade and alliances and stuff. Diplomacy, not so much. Kroq-Gar doesn't like me. We can push for Temple Kara there. I'm surprised they've left it vulnerable. We're about to get rid of Wolfgang here in Temple Kara. We'll take that. Short victory. And now we're in the creeping jungle and we border with the Great Plan. And a couple of other Lizardmen factions. Yeah, so now he doesn't have any territory, so he's actually losing replenishment. Okay, so he's sort of stuck between two lizards in a hard place, I guess. So we're going to have to deal with this army probably in the next episode. So thankfully there's not too many archers or crossbows, just a lot of spam. But so we've got Mr. Cane-Toad and Mazdamundi in the Great Northern Jungle. We've been trying to catch Marcus Wolfheart for quite some time, but he keeps on running away. We're 39 turns in. Up in the north, we've got Eddie Lizard. And I found an opportunity to push against the Fallen Gate. So we'll pivot northward, and we'll try and take it. The ancient, I guess, Lizardman city. So we've got two full stacks here, mostly made up of Skink and Saurus spam, which is fine. And it's probably going to do quite well. Particularly against Skaven, they're going to be rolling with a lot of clan rats. Lithargy has pushed into Iron Spike as well, so we couldn't even go on. Even if we really wanted to go north, we'd have to contend with the Lithargy. And in this series, I am allying myself up with the High Elves and sort of keeping positive and decent relations. And Hypnotoad and Eddie Lizard are pushing north towards the Fallen Gate. Against the Skaven here, there seems to be a decent amount as well. I think they've just sort of fled back from Iron Spike, let's say, what is this, Titan Peaks and like the Straits of Fear, I guess, because the Black Coast is Lithargy's domain. But we'll fight this one here today. We'll try and siege them out. You never know, they might attack us, of course, but the Skaven still seem to be running away with their tails between their legs. But I'm surprised they've got a decent amount there, and the Fallen Gate does have a rather large garrison, as it were. But we're now at war with them, so you never know. Actually, we might be able to... we're just running out of movement points here, that's the main thing. Yeah, it's because... yeah, the city's there, and then there's... it's so annoying sometimes. We should be able to run that down. Because what you want to try and do is divide and conquer where you can. Actually, we might have an opportunity here, though. Yeah, we'll auto-resolve this one. That's one of the armies gone. With the skink spam. Perfect. Now, can you double back? Like, if you hit the Fallen Gate, you're not going to win that. That's okay. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. We've managed to get around it. I didn't know if we could, to be honest. Yeah, there we go. Now we've got our movement back. Gotta love pivoting around the city like that. We'll go on a force march just so we can get this quickly. Perfect! We've managed to knock out 2 stacks in an auto resolve with skink spam. Mwah. Bon appetito, Mr. Ratty. Mr. Ratatouille. But we do get some pretty good buffs so we can get the Fallen Gate. There's that ancient city further to the north as well that gives you worldwide buffs. I can't remember what it's called. Eddie Lizard can get a cold one officially now as well. Alright, so we'll follow you further back. And we'll push towards the Fallen Gate. Okay, so we've actually been attacked here during the end turn phase against Clan Nor. And we're actually being besieged by Marcus Wolfhart. Nakai the Wanderer is pushed down to Lustria. I don't know why he's done that. This is Mortal Empires. Like, shouldn't he be up against Norsca and stuff? Some rebellions and stuff which we need to keep an eye on. That's fine. We can't even take that territory in the north because it's so hostile. Anyway, we'll push towards the Fallen Gates. We'll swing Hypno-Toad in and around. And we'll move Eddie Lizard out of Force March as well. And he can hit this outer army against Clan Nor. Or maybe not. Maybe they're going to flee back. Oh, they are too. Typical Skaven. Running with their tails between their legs. So what's the result on this one? Okay. Can we can you go there? Oh, you're gonna go around. If we... I guess... man, oh man, this is so annoying! The zone is... like, the pathway around is not big enough. Because I don't want to attack that on my own. It's 14 units there. So I guess we siege the Fallen Gate with Hypno-Toad. And we maybe... yeah, try and hit that and see what happens. Okay, that's a bit better. It's mostly our spam against theirs. I'll do a quick save. Eddie Lizard should be fine on his own to deal with that. Yeah, it's still the Battle of the Fallen Gates. I just want to make sure I get the right map. There we go. Skink spam. Eddie Lizard going to be leading from the front. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted to play on this map if we could. I didn't know if I had to siege it out to get it. But here we go. We're going to be fighting the Skaven in today's episode. The Lizardmen. The brave skinks against the Vermintide. Eddie Lizard becoming quite a renowned Saurus. Now riding a cold one in Mazdamundi's ranks. But here they are, the disgusting, the diabolical Vermintide. Yes, yes, we are Clan Nor. Yekshamish. Alright, a lot of clan rats. Now, even though we're not going to be the best in melee, we should be able to skirmish a lot of them out before they get to us. Now, we're going to try and slowly but surely move up and get a little bit closer to them. Close that distance to the top of the gate. I will chuck in Eddie Lizard against their general if need be. But so far, skink cohort skirmishers, or javelins specifically, they are incredibly cost effective, especially what we're versing with down in and around Lustria. I like them, I like them a lot. But this isn't Mazdamundi and Mr. Cane Toad's main army. My two proper decent forces are back. Oh, okay, we've been flanked there, that's okay. Skirmish... oh, they're routing, okay, because they've just been... attacked. Oh, okay, so the menace from the below. They've got menacer below. Great. That's a pain, but yeah. So far, we haven't got the economy to really hold and control like more than like 2 decent stacks. But I thought, why not with Eddie Lizard and Hypno-Toad? We might be able to do something here up against the Fallen Gates. So we'll sound the charge, because if they're going to sit back, we want to try and get some shots off with him if they're just going to sit back there. Okay, those menace of the blows are going to be the more annoying. We'll try and skirmish them out there where we can. We're actually fighting on the bridge. How many clan rats have they brought up for this fight? We should be right. Now that we've engaged them, we want to sort of skirmish them out where we can. Eddie Lizard, now that he's at the front, should be able to tank and hold about 6 or 8 units. We'll try and skirmish them out where we can. Maybe reform the line here slightly because they still have a lot of their ammunition. Speed-wise, we're probably nearly on par to their Skaven slaves and clan rats and slingers and whatnot. We need to make the most of our missile infantry in this fight. But I wasn't, to be honest, thinking I was going to be fighting the Skaven too much in this series, because what Clan Pestilence sort of is so far south, I'm actually quite surprised that we managed to confederate with the Cult of Sotek, to be honest. They must have really got smashed down towards the spine there. Now, we've managed to pull out a unit of clan rats, and we're just running back. We might be able just to wrap around and envelop them. Yeah, because we just can't get ahead enough so that we can properly skirmish them out. So we might have to grab some of our units here and actually get them to turn those javelins into spears, you know what I'm saying? There we go, we're actually skirmishing a little bit better here. Yeah, they weren't charging until we did. But we want to try and skirmish them out where we can. Okay. We're going to have to focus on our winds of magic of actually healing Eddie. But they're pushing us really far in this fight. Yeah, I guess we just gonna have to... If we're clumping up and we can't... Like, we've pushed so far back, we just got to risk it. We just got to surround them. There we go. If we can wipe them and then get rid of the one that's closer, then we can get the distance. I guess they're drawing clubs, not spears. You'd think you'd turn a javelin into a spear. But a pretty decent fight here against this Skaven. Trash tier against trash tier. Whoa. That's not good. Make sure those slingers don't hit us too much. Okay. You're focusing on this. Still 60% in my favour, so the AI thinks I'm going to be able to win this, and I think I will be able to as well. We just got to be careful, because if one or two rout, it could cause a trickle and then a flood throughout our ranks. But I have confidence in the lizard. Eddie Izzard. I mean, that's the joke. It's Eddie Lizard. Ugh. I've said that a couple times in this series. I know. Let me know lizard memes. Or amphibian memes, I guess. That we can do. We've already got Hypno Toad, already got Mr. Cane Toad, Mazdamundi, Jabba the Hutt, I like to call him. And Eddie Izzard. That's really harkening back to my Kroq-Gar series that I did ages ago on the channel. But this series will end in the not too soon future, so I want to be prepared and organised. What you'll like me to replace it with doesn't necessarily have to be Total War or Warhammer 2. It can be a strategy game on the channel. So now this is what I'm talking about. We're actually skirmishing them out properly. And we're using our ammunition. We can surround them quite well, because they're only clan rats. Because we can blob them up. I'm curious to see who had the numerical supremacy on this one. I can't remember when I loaded it in at the start. Eddie Lizard is still holding out here. Yeah. But the skin cohort javelins in auto resolve did quite well against those other units, those other armies. I think like it's just difficult rotating and pivoting around the Fallen Gate. But I feel like Elithanar has done most of the hard work and heavy lifting against Clan Gnaw. Because they should have a couple more provinces than this. They've been pushed super far south, and even the Druki that are hanging up in and around Titan Peaks and I guess like the Doom Glades have been eradicated. But we're still, I guess we're going a little bit out of the way, but we're still slowly but surely making the jungle in Lustria great again. Okay, Eddie's still holding and we're still skirmishing that. The problem is when they come back, but our little skinky boys are having a tremendous fight here today for the Fallen Gates. I do recommend the skink spam when you can, because we're still quite early in our campaign. Slowly but surely heading towards our short victory conditions that I've set. I'm not going to do like a full map completion of this, but I want to try and take as much of Lustria as we can, if not all of it, and ally up and confederate and sort of unite the lizarding world. Okay, so they're now dropping back, which is good. They're coming in. So we've got sort of blobs here, left, centre and right. The right blob's sort of going up a bit, the centre one's doing quite well. They're exhausted. Clan Rats versus Skink Cohort Javelins. We seem to be getting the better of them. Still slightly in our favour. But man, look at Eddie. Eddie Lizard's still holding. Okay, I've skipped a little bit ahead because it just turned into an absolute grind. Just back and forth, back and forth. There's actually a long fight, this one. But Clan Nor has capitulated here today. And we're finally going to bring back the Fallen Gates to Mazdamundi. Yeah, 2.6k, we lost 1.6. They deployed 2.2, so we only outnumbered them by about 400. They lost 1.3. Eddie Lizard got 200 kills. Crikey. They actually had some decent clan rats with spears and shields. They're slaves, clan rats. So it's a bit of a mixed match. They actually probably had some better quality units than what I anticipated. Like, those, when they have a shield variant, it does change things up a bit, particularly when you have skirmishes. But a terrific victory here today. I'll take that. Mazdamundi's going to be happy. Clan Nor. God. I guess that's how he speaks. I assume he sort of speaks like Jabba the Hutt. Anyway, victory here today. And that was a field battle for the Fallen Gates. We actually have to take the city in a sec. But now with that gone, we should have a clear-cut auto-resolved with Hypnotoad. Okay, we're going to have to build up a little bit more then. And replenish and repair where we can. Alright, swing around here, we'll unite up. We've got rid of those 3 stacks. We'll go back against the Fallen Gate once we replenish. Okay, so now, how is it the Cult of Sotek? I guess they rebelled. Anyway, Marcus Wolfhard is finally sieging it out. We lost him for ages. Like, we've only just going to get in range. He could even run and flee again. You never know. But we're going to be winding things down here today. Thank you very much for watching episode 3 of my Total War Warhammer 2 Mazdamundi modded Hexoatl Lizardmen series. We're currently strength ranked 1. We have military alliances with the Defenders of the Great Plan, and the Spirit of the Jungle, Nakai. Hopefully we can get one with Kroq-Gar a little bit later, but we sort of want to unite the Lizard and Lustria realm where we can, and this is what we currently occupy. Most of Marcus Wolfhardt's territory, the New World colonies, Silustra, the Vampire Coast is probably our next adversary, but so far, particularly in the west and south, the Lizardmen are doing quite well. Sometimes Felheart can take over quite significant wafts of territory. The cult of Sotek actually got smacked quite a bit. Sometimes the dwarves can be quite strong, Clan Pestilence. But so far, we've been very fortunate. There's been decent vampire expansion with Harkon. So Lustra not so much. And mostly everywhere else, the allied lizards are winning. So we'll take that. So we've got 3 full stacks down here. One with Mazdamundi. The next with Mr. Cane Toad, and we have the Cult of Sotek there with Tenantun. I always get that guy's name so wrong. Anyway, Marcus Wolfheart doesn't have a settlement left. Fortunately for me, he's only got swordsmen and spearmen spam. His agents are going to be a little bit of a problem, but overall, we're doing quite fine. In the northern jungle, we're holding well. Towards the southern and north near Swamp Town, we're fine. In the last episode, we did have the battle for the Fallen Gates, but we should be able to auto-resolve that one out once we've got a little bit of replenishment done. Lustria at the moment, we've been incredibly fortunate with our lizard allies. Pestilence clan has sort of fallen back. The dwarves aren't strong, but yeah, further in the south, the Kai is down here now. Kroq-Gar and the Defenders of the Great Plan are really, really strong. And also high off to the north, Elithanar has managed to knock out Druki and Skaven. So all that really opposes now is this Marcus Wolfheart army. And that will be the last of the Huntsman's expedition and basically ethnically humans on Lustria, because we already got rid of the old colonies. Marcus Wolfheart's only level 8 here as well. He doesn't have too many war wagons. His agents are going to be the major problem. But with our Slann priests and additional agents, we should be alright with the main army. Alright, let's do a quick save and hard save, and we'll fight this one on the campaign map. And then, I guess, it's probably Harkon and maybe the Blessed Dread that we have to deal with. Alrighty. Let's have the battle against the Empire here. So, fortunately enough, we're going to be able to surround him in this one. So we've got Mazdamundi with the main army. We've got like 7 or 8 agents here, mostly made up of... Well, I've gone with a Saurus/Slann build, while when we confederated with the Cult of Sotek, he had a lot more lizard wizards. But army build wise, it could be better. What is really going to do the damage against us is those archers, crossbows, maybe the chariots, and actually Marcus Wolfheart himself and any ranged unit. But human... Empire, sword and shield, they're not going to be able to do overly too much. So we'll try and push up our agents, get them to close the distance, and blob up, and we'll try and surround them with our Saurus warriors and our skinks. But so far, we're still pretty early in this campaign. We actually haven't even got to the high tier of our Bastilodons and stuff, because the thing is, right, we actually lost... I'm not even too fussed about it. We actually lost our Feral Bastilodon and our Kroxigors quite early on, and I'm not going to lie, I haven't missed them, because it sort of allowed me to spam out a lot more of these skinks. Now, I didn't do this so much in the Skaven one, because we made so much money in that Ikit Claw series, like the Jezels, the Rattling Guns, and sort of the Warp Throwers that are sort of available. But we've been spamming out a lot of Lizard trash tier at the moment, which is still so cost effective. I do recommend it, especially early on. Because the thing is, the larger entity units, especially on the higher difficulties on auto-resolve, they just get absolutely wiped out. So it's nearly sometimes in your best interest, if you do like auto-resolve probably every 3rd battle, which I tend to do, go with a bit of a spam. But we should be able to get a good bombardment here on Wolfheart, and we've destroyed a chariot. I can't see! It's all blue! Alright. So the Saurus Spears are now coming in. Yeah, so in the first 2 episodes, we dealt with the Norskins, the Skeggi, and the New World colonies, which can be a little bit tricky. Then we pushed on against Silustria. We're kind of lucky about her as well. She only had 1 territory. If she had 2 or 3, she could have very much infested Lustria with vampiric corruption, which would have really, really slowed us down. But I'm still blown away that we've been able to confederate with the Cult of Sotek so early. Like, rarely does that happen. And I sort of was fortunate enough to have decent relations with him. But bringing him in has allowed us to gain some territories right bang smack in the centre. But that's just how it is. Sometimes campaigns can be made a lot easier just depending on the RNG. Fortunately enough for me, I've gone down the plan of allying with High Elves and their holding, and obviously as a lizard, all my AI seems to be holding as well. It's just how it is. Sometimes the Druki go nuts, sometimes Clan Pestilence can get a real big footholding, and vice versa. Harkon can take the Vampire Coast, or the Blessed Dread can really hold on. So far they have actually pulled back to the tree line there in a decent position, so we want to try and push up and wrap them around. We do still have some Kroq-Gars here, but I'm talking about the original ones we had. They've come in from the Cult of Sotek, I would imagine, because they're not the OG ones that we had, nor the Bastilodon. So they've pushed up into the tree line here, which can be a little bit annoying, but we just want to try and bombard and make sure they don't continue that on. The Bretonnian Knight's going to hold on well. The thing is with Marcus Wolfhard, his agents are going to do most of the carrying and heavy lifting, so we'll try and get rid of them. Make sure my agents are going back. Feral Instinct's not too bad, so we'll go with that. If my Kroq-Gars can sort of absolutely rip-roar through the enemy backline here that's holding, mostly of skirmishers, the better. Marcus Wolfhard is trying to snipe Mazdamundi and a couple of others, but we should be right. So we need to try and run down as many of these as possible, because they will not be able to replenish. We were able to surround him with our war deck due to that confederation. We probably kind of saved the Cult of Sotek as well, because he could have actually got a decent footholding in their central territory. Okay. So what's this? Ah, okay. So this is like a beast lizard wizard. Not the best, but we'll make do. Alright. Yeah, so they're just... we just need to give chase. We can't allow them to skirmish. Pivot, shoot, pivot, shoot, pivot, shoot, and sort of kite us. Close the distance, get them stuck, and bogged down. But we've had a decent victory here today. They're pulling up to the high ground, which is annoying. Into the thick of it. Kroq-Gars need to be getting stuck in a bit more. Mostly now all that's remaining is their skirmishers and their general unit, and Marcus Wolfhard himself. Try and net him and get him down. But Mazdamundi, Saurus warriors and Kroq-Gars trying to claim Marcus Wolfhard and scalp him so he can get his unique buff. It looks like he might be trying to run here now. Oh! Surely that must be the end of him. A good old whack of the scepter, I guess. Mazdamundi, the Lord of the Solar City. Beware of solar firepower. They're now running down from Mr. Cane Toad. And Wolfhard is now gone as well. Fantastic. Yeah. I guess they're dwarf and their witch hunter's still hanging out there. Okay. Nearly finished them off here today. Surprised they're lasting so long. To be honest, their morale must be really decent. Because Marcus Wolfhard is gone. I guess there's a couple of agents in general sort of hanging about. But a massive victory. Now we can probably look to securing Lustria away from human forces. Yeah, it's the witch hunter that's holding. And the dwarf. Come out here, you wee skinkears! Yeah, getting... oh god, took out 5 skinks there. And crossbows still peppering us as well from range. Touche. It's getting cohorts back and forth, but I think I see something coming over the hill. Hopefully they should deal with that. Oh, they're now retreating. Victory. Victory here today against Marcus Wolfhard. We'll take that. we'll make sure to replenish and heal where we can. That's always annoying when you fight vampires, because they just go kaput and disappear. Now that we've got some human entities running away, we're going to be able to heal with Mazdamundi and the boys. So this should be the last human faction we have to face in Lustria. And this is a rebellion, but I can't think if there's any more left. Norscan gone, Old World Colonies gone, and the Hunts Marshal Expedition gone. Okay, decisive victory, and I've healed up the boys there. Only 250. 1.4k, they lost 1k as well. Yeah, their agents did most of the work. And casualties for us. Maybe one halberd unit there. Victory. We'll take the loot, decisive one. And that should be the last of them. Yes, that's weird. So we've got like a Cult of Sotek rebellion there. Oh, he's actually run away a little bit. That's a shame. Oh. Someone there must have some movement. Okay. Yeah, so Wolfheart's been injured. Mazdamundi might be able to get it. Adam. Yeah, I'll just auto-resolve this one out and finish them off. I'm surprised how many ran away. Crikey. We'll exterminate. And that's it. She's all over Red Rover. They're gone. Okay, so we still need to take the Fallen Gate, like I said. We'll auto-resolve this one. Oh my god! Look at the auto-resolve on that! We'll loot and occupy. Man, oh man. They only just work, auto-resolve-wise. Oh, here we go. Lokar Felheart. Lokir Felheart. Of the Blessed Dread have attacked me. Well, we'll call on our allies, though we've got a lot of them. Surprised he did that. Because we wanted to go after Harkon. Okay, welcome to the top of the turn. 48 in the Let's Play. We can probably look to go to war with Harkon eventually. And the Blessed Dread. We're strength ranked 1. Alliance-wise, we're sitting quite firm. Military-wise, we finally got a defensive. We are at war with the Blessed Dread and the Dwarfs for whatever reason, but... Look at this, man. Lithanar, we've got a defensive pack with. The dude is going ham in the north against the Druki, which is quite cool. Some of you wanted me to declare war upon the High Elves, but I made the decision to sort of ally with them, because we got decent trade rights and stuff coming in, and we were fortunate enough that Nagaroth was able to be strong. So we've got 16 provinces, sorry, 3 provinces owned, 16 settlements specifically, and really we just have to sort of get rid of Luther Harkon in the Vampire Coast and Felheart, and then Lustria's under Lizard control, let's say. So if I join your war, Kroq-Gar, we finally got some negotiations with you. Would you want us to come in? And they've accepted. Good. So even though we're at war with 2 decent factions here, I want to like get rid of Harkon here before we push against Felheart, because he's only hanging out in the island. Oh, Teclis is down here as well. What happened to him? I kind of forgot about that. Maybe Teclis... Nah, Teclis usually gets Shrek'd, usually. So we'll short hands. We're about to make him a little bit shorter, I guess. We'll take the bloody swamps. The blood swamps. The bloody swamp sounds better, in my opinion. And then we'll push against the Vampire Coast and Poxmarsh and the Awakening. But, yeah, it's always a bit of a struggle with vampiric corruption. We're going to probably lose a lot of lizard lives. So we can get a blessed Stegadon here. We'll probably move that back into Maz's army. Maz? Hi, Maz. Oh, it's Maz, isn't it, in that Star Wars movie? Hi, Maz. Well, anyway, replenish and repair where we can. There is an army a little bit north, but Mr. Kainto can deal and suss that one out along with help of the garrison. There we go. He's going to retreat anyway. Yeah, they don't... I wish they took damage in our forest. Okay, so... Oh, no, he's still here. Teclis. I'm surprised about that. Why did Felheart declare war upon me? That's annoying. Anyway, we'll push it towards north and to try and take the Awakening. We'll just have to see what they've sort of got garrison-wise inside. That can be a little bit tricky. But so Mazdamundi is currently besieging the Awakening, a large city that Harkon controls. We've also got the Cult of Sotek close behind as well. Pox March still is under vampire control, so it's actually his capital. I wasn't entirely sure, so I didn't want to say it. So Isabel Jenkins is up in the north. We should be able to deal with her. And we've also got more additional armies there. But fortunately enough for me in this campaign, the Lizards, the other factions, have sort of held on. We've been quite fortunate with our allies. Even Teclis is hanging out here. Crikey. So here are our defensive alliances. Kroq-Gar, Elithanar, Nakai as well. So we might be able to have some more confederations, but we'll just have to see. So we'll allow Mr. Kainto to run them down. Eddie Lizard's getting some more military forces along with Hypnotoad towards the Fallen Gates. But Dicky Butters, it's Butters! Okay, so we'll try and deal with the garrison here. Quite large. Deep guard as well. And whatnot. Anyway, let's fight this one on the battlefield here today and take Harkon's capital. Welcome, welcome, my arties. Welcome to the Battle of the Awakening. I really do love playing siege battles against the Vampire Coast. Man, I mean, look at the crazy modelling they've got here. Alright. So, it's kind of a little bit weird seeing the Lizardmen actually go up and try and take this. So we'll move up with our Saurus warrior, who's actually now mounted on a Carnosaur. But if we can get up quickly, get those ladders up, we're not going to be able to stay too far out behind the walls because we need to close the distance as quickly as possible. Mazdamundi's now pushing up. So with their arrow towers, it's not necessarily armor-piercing rounds, it's sort of ethereal magic that the vampires have. But we've got a Saurus warrior here. The Kroq-Gar is going to push up and act like a battering ram to get us in. And the Vampire Coast have deployed most of their deep guard in their better quality units on the walls themselves. So we'll push up with our Sauruses. Our Saurus warriors should be able to contend. We do have some of our own skirmishes and stuff, but numerical supremacy, balance of power, we still do have it on the Vampire Coast. But we should be able to wrap up my main objective here of taking and bringing the entirety of Lustria into the Lizardmen hold. But we're kind of fortunate because, like I said, I'm actually blown away. Let me know in your campaign sort of how Lustria ends up about 60 turns into the campaign, because I think we've been very, very fortunate on the RNG. As we're just getting absolutely bombarded here. That's why we need to quickly get up there. But yeah, we allied with the High Elves, which is a really good play. Having trade flowing from the 10 Kingdoms in Ulthuan. But Elithanar's gone absolutely ham getting rid of the Skaven and Druchii. We only had one battle against the Skaven in this series. We managed to rush Norska, Skeggi out, and the New World colonies. Marcus Wolfhard did have a bit of a decent position, but that was negated by the Confederation with the Clan of Sotek. But the Saurus warrior is going to be able to deal quite easily with the crabs in there and their monster units there. But the Saurus warriors are up on the the walls, which looks quite weird. Yeah, I don't think I've actually fought a siege battle with the Lizardmen in quite some time. Those mortars are raining fire and death upon us. I wish we had some sort of menacer below. That would be perfect, but we're going to have to cop that fire for a little bit longer. Harkon did really well in this series, but Diafin not so much. But yeah, surely Nakai shouldn't be down here. That's the main thing. We got an alliance with him. He sort of fled his Norscan territory. Maybe if it's sort of secure, he comes down here and hangs out with the defenders of the old ones and Kroq-Gar and whatnot. But Mazdamundi is honouring the ancients and the great plan. But yeah, I guess there's a couple ways you can go in this Lizardman series. You can push over against the Tomb Kings. You could deal with the High Elves because their territory is so rich, but now it's actually not in our best interest. Oh, what? Why haven't we got the gate open? Oh, they just let the... Oh, They let the Carnosaur in to sort of battle it out with the crabby boys and the sirens. That's annoying. We are going to win here. It's 60-40, but it's going to be a hell of a grind, this one. We're still fighting with silver bronze Tiersaurus. Just because they've been so ineffective. We haven't needed anything else. Like, I like Bastillodons, like solar Bastillodons. If you get like 6 of them, I very much treat them as like plague claw catapults. They can anchor your army so well. But the Saurus spam has really worked out in this series. But the Carnosaur is rip-roaring through. And we've got some ethereal support here. Now we can't see. Knocking out a dozen sirens there. I'm surprised that they cut off the Carnosaur so well. Clever boys. But those towers are absolutely shredding me. Okay, this is what we want. So our Saurus have made it up over the walls. They're actually fighting in the streets of the Vampire Coast. Now my skink cohort are actually putting down some fire. Pretty decent damage against the Vampire Coast. Now we've got more skinky boys. Slowly but surely making their way up onto the walls. We will lose a lot of casualties here today, but I have a feeling we're going to be able to grind out a result. The balance of power is still very much firmly in our grasp. We're only 5 minutes into this particular fight. But we've still got Harkon to deal... not Harkon, Felhart to deal with. I wonder if Teclis is going to help us out. Like, Teclis is alive! Isn't that a bit of an anachronism? Him surviving? Still putting on the pain on these crabby boys. Those sirens have managed to bail out. Or sirens, exactly. Sirens, yeah. Sirens are the mermaid things, aren't they? Okay, we've nearly gotten rid of the crabby boys. And we should be able to bring in more of those additional Saurus warriors now. We just need to cap the town square soon so we can initiate the countdown. But leave the video a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. If you enjoy Warhammer 2 content, really helps out the channel and the videos on the good old YouTube algorithm. Now this series is going to end here today. So let me know what you'd like me to replace with. Got to watch out for that bloated corpse. Doesn't have to be necessarily Warhammer 2. It just has to be either a Total War game or a strategy game I've Let's Played on the channel. Yeah, so they're actually doing quite well holding those bloated corpses in those narrow corridors. And those mortars I haven't been paying too much attention for, but they've been absolutely rip-roaring into our front line, I'd imagine. Sitting back here, there's not much we can do. They're just sort of hitting us with impunity, but here's a bloated corpse. A couple of arrows in the back, I guess. I don't know, Felhart, maybe some Druki did that, because it sure as hell wasn't us. I don't think we've even got any sort of bolts. No. We've sort of got clubs and spears and javelins, don't we? I really like the aesthetic of the Lizardmen. Very primitive and with the clubs and spears, and then they've got that sort of artistic and Aztec style. We're still holding on for now. Fortunately, this Carnosaur's tanking. And those deep guards have just been absolutely Shrek there. There's more depth guard. Yeah, depth guard. Deep guard, depth guard, whatever. As long as you know what I'm talking about, doesn't matter. Alright, push up furthermore here. Man, oh man, those mortars are so good. I just wish we had a Menacer below or something. If we had some aerial units that could have fixed that, but we haven't had the opportunity really to recruit them yet. Anyway, we've got Saurus boys pushing into the city now. Good. We can stop those mortars from hitting our Saurus warriors. So, my units have finally made their way through the narrow shanty corridors, and the Saurus are trying to deal with the pirate units holding the mortars. They're now gone. Must be one pirate unit sitting back here. Looks like that Fallout 4 character. Can't remember his name. The mayor or whatever. Anyway, decisive victory. Here today, I'll take that. 600 lost. 300 as well. 1.2k destroyed. So we've taken the Awakening now. And Harkon's capital, which is going to deal a massive blow. Okay, so we're going to push for Poxmarsh here now with Mazdamundi. So, Marty Sharp, we're going to be able to deal with him quite easily, but for some reason, Count Noculus has rocked up. I'm not necessarily sure why he's done that. But hopefully we don't have to deal with him. I'm surprised he's sort of coming down here, but yeah, normally... Well, Ulth 1's probably holding out quite well. He usually sort of invades there. He's sort of the third wheel in Ulth 1, isn't it? Tyrion and the High Elves are trying to fight against the Druki and rebellious factions like Safari and whatnot. Oh, okay, so that might be a decent one there. We might need additional reinforcements there, because they've taken the temple. Okay, Poxmarsh is under our control. We'll deal with this. A couple of armies have split out and away. We'll try and wrap them up in the jungle where we can. Yeah, but Count Noculus has sent an army down south. Got a small rebellion here, Skaven one. Mazdamundi has managed to upgrade his sick wheelchair, his sick ride, to a Bestirred now. And we're going to push towards Felheart after wrapping up the Vampire Coast. Flaming Serpent. Let's go for it. Okay, and we've got nearly 3 full stacks in operation down near the Blood Swamps. For some reason, their army moved out. I hate when that happens sometimes when they see us coming, but we're going to be able to take the Flaming Serpent. And I guess they're going to rot away? No, they've taken the Star Tower. Well, Mr. Kainto can deal with that. Oh, so Teclis did get knocked out in the end. But, if we're going to take their settlements and just sort of hold out, I'm happy to do that. Bring Eddie Lizard back to the Blood Swamps, and we'll allow Mazdamundi to hit anyone where we can. Got a lot of regiments of renown now, so we can finally get those Pterodons and whatnot. Those Kroq-Gars as well. Okay. So, we've managed to confederate here with Nakai the Wanderer. So we can bring him further down. Mr. Kaintoad's hanging out in the Star Tower. Mazdamundi's there as well. So, they've actually come back and focused all their firepower on the Flaming Serpent. So, depending on the auto-resolve, we'll play this. If not, we'll just auto-resolve it. Especially with Nakai, and we've got 3 stacks coming in, and the Serpent Garrison. So we'll just have to see how we go. They're rotting away, so they might be quite weak. Okay. So why is it so much in my favour? Especially even with a lightning strike. That's 95. Our favour. I'll auto-resolve this one. Decisive victory. I don't know why it was so much in my favour. Even without lightning strike. Oh well. I had no real ambition to deal with Felheart in battle. I wanted a decent fight against him, but oh well. Anyway, we've knocked out the Druki here. And this should be the last of them. Yeah, so we didn't even need to get rid of Teclis. He got knocked out himself. Oh, that's good. Alrighty. 63 turns into the Let's Play. Strength ranked 1. Itza's 4th, who we got a military alliance with. Bretonia up there as well, Tyrion there as well. But this is what we currently occupy. 26 settlements, 7 provinces, and we've hit my main objective of making Lustria great again. If not all but one, look, there's one dwarf territory that we haven't taken, and Clan Pestilence is gone as well. So, unfortunately on that note, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, unless... No, none of these guys want a confederation and want to rally up with me. Military and defensive packs will have to do. But I always keep the saves of my series depending on the general consensus. We could do more episodes if that's something you'd like to see. Maybe betraying our high elf allies, pushing against Lithanar, maybe into the 10 Kingdoms, or maybe jumping over to the Tomb Kings. That could be something that we do. But I feel like we've hit our short victory conditions. Even if we keep our alliance with the high elves, they're probably going to storm the Druchii in the north. It just sort of depends. Well, we could invade the old world. That might be quite cool. But I think there's some lizardmen. Like Kroq-Gar. Kroq-Gar's in a weird spot. He's super far over, isn't he? Like, we're never going to see him. I'm surprised we've actually managed to confederate with Nakai and Sotek, to be honest. But we've hit my short victory conditions that I've set out. Here are the actual the short victory conditions. We nearly have a lot of them, specifically. Construct a star chamber. Cult of pleasure. Really? They want us to go all the way up there, even though that it's not our hospitable terrain. Oh. Anyway, I've hit my short victory conditions that I've set up. Unfortunately, guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already with the bell notification on. Let me know in the comment section down below feedback and suggestions for the video. And feel free to leave a dislike. If you want to support the channel and follow me on my social media links, they are all linked in the description below. We've got the series playlist that you can access. You can also have a look at my gaming and recording equipment. If you want to get yourself some cheap games, check out the links. You can support me on Patreon if you want. Channel members are available. Use creator code SimpzyTotalWar on the Epic Games Store checkout to flick me a couple of bucks. We've got Twitter, Discord, merchandise, Facebook, Steam group, Instagram, Twitch, and Google Plus links all in the description below as well. But above all, guys, make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy. Much love from Australia. Goodbye. Mwah.